some point in your wild camping journey, you will probably change your sleep system 3 or 4 times. You'll change your mat to something that suits the way you sleep. Maybe it has a higher R rating. You'll change your bag to something that can get a bit colder so that you can come out, all year round. And you may look at quilts, camping quilts. Now, you might think that camping quilt is just a big sleeping bag that's unzipped, and you'd be sort of right, but not. Camping quilts are a little different. They are much nicer to sleep under, much less restrictive. They can be very, very nice and warm. The one I have, the NXT here, Ice Flame, is a perfectly good, not expensive, but not hugely cheap either, camping quilt. It's 3 season on its own, it's 4 season if I pair it with something else. For instance, I've got a One Tigress down blanket, which is very thin. It's great for cutting some wind, cold off of you if you're sitting outside and wrap it around you, but its insulation properties are unknown. On its own, I wouldn't use it as a sleep system. Over the top or underneath the over the top of the quilt, great, perfect. You can also put your quilt inside your sleeping bag if you've got a big enough sleeping bag. No problem with that. Just layers, adding layers, and that's great. Now, I've mentioned on this channel loads of times so far my desire to upgrade my quilt to a Zen bivy bed, and I will do that at some point when they eventually come back in stock in the UK. Come on, Zen bivy. I can go and get it in Europe. I can get it sent from the States. I'm not doing that. Why are they not in stock in the UK? It's been months now. Anyway, I will do that at some point, because I think that's the pinnacle of where I want to be for sleeping. And I can get a down set up for that. It'll go down to like -12 centigrade, which I don't ever intend to sleep in. But you never know. Who knows? And they do look fantastic and roomy and everything else. So I think that is the next evolution of my sleep system. And eventually, perhaps, maybe, you'll do the same. You'll upgrade all this stuff that you buy to start with. I will say, you should realise that if you start wild camping, you will spend money. It is not a free hobby as such. It's not even a cheap hobby. It can be. You can do it without spending huge amounts of money. No problem at all. You won't. How about that? I'm getting a right cough, and I think it's the anti-mozzie flaxtail thing, because it was sort of right there above me, just giving me the cough. So I've moved that now. So clothing. Ugh. When you first go out, layer up. Layer up doesn't change. When you get the hang of this, anytime you're going to be in a, colder environment, layer up. Make sure you take extra jumpers. If you're near your car, and I've said this before, if it's your first time and you're right near your car and you're on a campsite, for instance, take a duvet, take a nice big pillow, whatever you need. Keep warm, enjoy it. But clothing wise, don't rush out and go and get yourself some really expensive gear, because there's plenty of expensive gear out there. I went most of last year. I managed to find some waterproof trousers, sort of waterproof. I can't remember which make they were now. Not a brand name, but in a charity shop, and they were perfectly fine. In fact, 2 pairs. One pair that was waterproof, one pair that wasn't. It was slightly insulated. Absolutely fine for most of the year. I do now have, which was a Christmas present, a very nice pair of insulated trousers. Very comfortable, extra padding in the right places, knees for instance, and your bum. Waterproof built-in gaiters at the bottom to stop the water getting in the top of your boots. I've also got some very nice boots, but you don't need that to start with. Depending on how far you're walking, pair of trainers. Oh, a pair of old army boots. Pick something up on eBay for 20 quid. Don't worry about it. Change it later. When you decide you do want to carry on while camping, I would suggest the first thing you do is invest in a down jacket. Down jackets are so good. They're really warm at night. And when you sit down, you've got your tent up and you just sit around, you need something. You need something that's just going to take, going to give you a bit of insulation, a bit of the windbreak, but mostly insulation. And I've said before, this is a Peter Storm one from Go Outdoors. It was 40 quid. You can't go wrong with that. You don't have to spend 200-300 quid on the latest and greatest Rab or Montane jacket. You just don't. Shop around on AliExpress, shop around on Temu, see what people are recycling on eBay and Vinted and all the others. And eventually, if you keep going camping, you'll end up camping in the winter. And then you're going to want proper layers. I've got merino wool top, just this thing you've seen me in all day. I've also got a merino wool under legging things, and they're great because they're really nicely insulated, but they also don't make you overheat. They wick away moisture nicely, so they are top-notch merino wool. You can get lots of other things, but as a base layer, that's what I'd suggest. And you don't have to spend a load of money there either. You can spend hundreds, but don't. Spend, 20, 30, 40 quid. Get yourself some base layers, and then use whatever else you've got on top. It's fine. I would go for a down jacket though. And later you'll probably want to get some down booties and some down trousers if you're really spending any time in the cold. Or just for comfort. It's nice to be warm. I'll put mine on later. At the moment I'm not cold at all. So yeah. Clothing is important. But like everything else we've talked about, not on day one. What else is there? Might get my dinner and have a think. Depending on where you are in the country, depending on which country you're in, different things can apply. If you are South England, there are still some ancient woodlands, some oak woodlands around, not much. If you camp in one, it's 50-50, I will say. But there's plenty of woodland around. Up here in Wales, it's mostly replanted woodland, so it's a lot less simple to pitch up and sleep in the woodlands. But there's quite a lot of farmlands, quite a lot of, obviously, streams and rivers and lakes, and if you get to know the right people, you can find somewhere that you are allowed to be, and that makes all of the difference. And obviously if you're southwest, Dartmoor, right to Rome on Dartmoor, there are massive areas that you are allowed to camp. one of the only places in England. Scotland also has, anywhere you can camp in Scotland under the right to roam laws, whether it's a private property or not. You know, be careful, you know, use your brain, as I say. But Scotland's rules are very different, and there is a movement in Wales trying to get the same thing in place. Hope so. I don't think it'll happen in England. There's just not enough space. Too many people in England. Way too many. Not if the bug bites. After the first 2-3 outings, if you find somewhere you like, somewhere that works for you, you start to improve your equipment. You sleep a little better, a little warmer. Your tent's more comfortable. You get a bit more room. You throw a chair into the mix. All these things change you, change how you sleep, how your wild camp goes. If you can get permission to sleep on certain places, certain sites in your area, then please do. Wild camping, you know, park up side of the road, go and sleep in someone's field. There's always a risk that you'll be moved on. Always. The only thing I would say about that is, if you are ever asked to move. You know, just move. Don't fight it. Don't argue. Just say, yep, no worries, mate. I'm packing up. I'm on my way. And go home or find somewhere else. Don't look for spots that are near farms. Don't look for spots that have got cows, certainly. And never sleep in a field full of cows or horses. You can do with sheep, but not when they've got lambs. There's various things, right? Most of it's common sense. You know, use your brain, you'll be fine.